Hello, I'm sitting here in Guatemala City on this day, Oshlahu Bats, 13 bats, having just been to the Weaving Museum, the Shell Museum of Textiles in Guatemala City. And, as always, I'd like to find you a nice location, but I thought, view out over the volcanoes, but it's kind of noisy out there. So I thought, you know what, better that I just do it here in the room. Then the audio will be hopefully right. So I'm here to talk today about the Trecena of E, the new journey that we're going into, the new road that we're about to walk. And so this, of course, the Trecena of E is like we've been through this Trecena of Kawok, this new birth. Now we've kind of left the womb. We've been born out into the world, and it's time to start the journey. It's time to start the new path. Where will that path take you? Maybe it's time for some decisions to be made. Maybe you remember 20 days ago, it was 7 it's the end of the road. Choose your new path. Well, now is the time to begin your new path. Now that might be whatever kind of path you want it to be. Might be mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. It's up to you, kind of which journey you're going to make, but it's a great day to begin something new, a new path. I mean, the beginning of a Trecena is always a good time to begin something new, but a new course of action, journey to take. And so, of course, over the 13-day period, it's going to be relating to the guidance on this new journey, which direction you might move in, but we're going to start with the day Hun one the beginning of the path, the beginning of the journey. Now, it's interesting that we've been on this 13-day journey throughout this Kawok going all around Guatemala, taking people on a, what we could see as a journey of initiation, for want of better words, a journey of rebirth, as it may be. And now they're going to return to their places, hopefully refreshed. It's been quite a hard journey, but with new ideas, new perspective. And this, for me, is very much about this one It's about taking to a new road, or seeing your road with new eyes. And it's the potential to make the journey. It's the potential to travel. And sometimes we also need a bit of encouragement, because that one, I'm always relating the one to being rather like a seed, and the seed needing the fertilizer, needing the rain, needing the soil, needing the right conditions in order to grow into its full potential. So you can maybe see the potential for your journey, the potential for where you want to go, but maybe you need a little bit of encouragement. Maybe you need those conditions to be correct. And sometimes also, what is our fertilizer? Sometimes our fertilizer, our encouragement, is that which comes from those with the experience of doing it before us. Maybe it's like, maybe you want to come on a trip to Guatemala or something like that, and maybe you need some encouragement. So one would be a great day to be looking into that, to be saying, right, okay, I think I've got the potential for this journey. How am I going to do it? Where am I going to find the rain? Where am I going to find the right soil? Right? Where am I going to find the right nutrients in order to make that potential come in? And so this might be very much the planning stage of a journey. It might be the first step on a new road that you're taking. Maybe that 20 days ago was where you made the choice about where you want to go. And here's where you step foot onto the path for the first time. You make the first move on this new journey. These themes are wonderful themes for the day one air. From one air, we then move into two ach. So we have ach, the nawal of home, ach, the nawal of the community and the harmony in the community. And we see the number 2, and the number 2 being this very binary number, being a 1 or a 0, being a left or a right, being a yes or a no. And the number 2 can also represent self-sacrifice. The number 2 can represent relationships. And, if we're taking a new path, if we're taking a new road, that's likely to take us away from home. And it's saying, right, okay, are you ready to sacrifice maybe the comfort of your own bed, maybe the comfort of being with your family, maybe the comfort of being in a community, in a place where you know how everything works, in a place where you know how the language works, and kind of what button does what, and all this kind of thing. Well, Ech is going to take you into the unknown, because Ech is, that one who has a thirst for adventure. And the two, Ach is like kind of like, we could see it weighing up between home and away from home. It's kind of like seeing things as these choices, these decisions. Do I stay home and stay with what I know? Do I go out there? If I do stay home, how can I help my community? If I go out there, how can I help my community? Because with Ach wanting to create peace, wanting to create harmony, is our journey for a hedonistic reason, or is it for something to go and find that elixir, to go on that journey and bring back something that benefits the community? Maybe that's part of it as well. But really, kind of as I say, the two Ach, looking at it from the point of view of, what are we sacrificing within our home to go on this journey? Kind of, let's say, maybe you're going to be, flying or sleeping on a bus or whatever it might be for a few days to make this journey. And you think about the comfort of your own home and, weighing it up is this what I want to do? And so two Ach might see those kind of questions coming up, to see things, and to see things very much in this kind of like yes, no way. It's like, are we going to stay at home? We're going to go. This is often the question that we might ask as we take this. So after two Ach, we're then moving into three Ish. Now, during our journey, we've been to some beautiful sacred sites up in Peten and around the lake and around Guatemala in general. And, one of the things that I think always comes to us is, well, what about my altar? What about my attachment to this place or that place? And I feel quite strongly that as we travel around to different sacred sites, to different areas, we're connecting with them. We're picking up that frequency. We are connecting with the heart of Mother Earth through our connection with those sacred sites. And when we make ceremony, when we make an offering at those sacred sites, it's like a little bit of us gets left with the sacred site, and a little bit of the sacred site gets left in us. And eventually we realize this is a sacred site. This is where we're carrying it. And for me, that's what three Ish helps us to realize. Because if Ish is about our sacred connection to the Mother Earth, if it's about our inner connection to the shrines and the altars, we're carrying that inner connection. And so it's looking within us to see where our heart is connected, not necessarily kind of like outside of us and needing this physical apparition of an altar or a shrine in order to give thanks, in order to make our offerings, but realizing that that's all within us. Now, Ish, we can also see, in some ways, some people might call Ish the magician, because they're the one who can speak with Mother Earth, who can make their offerings in order to bring what their community needs. And if we realize that our altar, our shrine is always within us, our magic, our sacred space is always within us, we can make our offerings to Mother Earth whenever we need to, from our heart, through our heart, and bring in what is necessary to sustain our journey. After three Ish comes four Tz'ikin. Now, when you're about to take a journey, hopefully you've got some kind of plan around it. Now, it's wonderful to have a very synchronistic journey where you kind of like, oh, right, you know what? I think I'll start by walking east and see what happens, what signposts I see, who I meet, who's going to take me in a different direction, all of those kind of things. But what we see with four Tz'ikin is about having a vision in the physical plane of existence, about bringing that vision into the physical. And maybe this is part of your vision for your journey, the vision for where you want to go, where you want to be, what you want to explore next. Tz'ikin brings a sense of prosperity to it. Tz'ikin sees the way. Tz'ikin likes to fly up high and see its way over the boundaries and over the obstructions so that it can move forwards on its path, of course. Tz'ikin brings the ability to focus on what's ahead of us. And here we see it in the physical. So it's a great day to be working out, kind of what prosperity you need in the physical in order to enable your journey, how to focus on where you're going and what's going to help you to prosper along the way. For Tz'ikin is a great day. I like to see it as grounding your vision. It's kind of like something might have been out there in the ethers a bit, as it were, or you really kind of like visualizing it. And for Tz'ikin gives you the opportunity to really bring that into a physical realm. After 40 comes 5 Ajmak, so 5, the hand which does the work. With Ajmak, the Nawal of the human, the Nawal of forgiveness. It's sometimes hard work to forgive, right? We have to put our energy into it. Sometimes we might bite our tongue a bit or something like that. Somebody asks forgiveness, we go, yep, all right, you know what? You're human, I'm human. Let's just get on with life. Huh? Sometimes it seems to take a lot of energy to do that. And the same with, kind of like our acceptance. It's like, we gotta accept we're just human. And with the number 5, it's the work. Now, in some ways, we could see it as like, let's say, always trying a little each day. Just an extra 1% each day is, getting a little better each day. In whatever way it might be, in your personal practice, in your path, however it is that you choose to look at it. And so 5 Ajmak, working on being a human, working on being a better human, maybe. We could, if we want to use the word better, sorry, if that's, kind of like however it might be. Working on being more loving, working on being more forgiving, working on being sweeter, softer as a human being. These are themes which may come up on that 5 Ajmak day. And, as we set out on our new journey, one of the things about setting out on new journeys is we don't know the way. Well, I mean, we might have our, Waze or Google Maps is going to take us forwards and all that kind of. We got an idea where we're going, but we haven't seen the scenery. Maybe we've seen it on YouTube or something like that. Okay, we've got an idea, but we haven't seen it with our own eyes. We haven't smelt it. We haven't tasted it. We haven't felt it around us, and that's that human experience. And we've got to put our effort into making that happen. And so 5 Ajmak, it's the sweetness that comes. Wow, I saw pictures of it, but I never knew it was going to be this good. It's kind of like that wonderful thing about being a human when we put our effort into it. And so what else can happen is that sometimes we don't always go the right way. Sometimes as we're going along, even if we do have our navigator or whatever helping us, we take a wrong turn. And, again, it's kind of like the 5 Ahmad day being kind of like, be prepared to put in a little bit of extra work to remedy situations because sometimes, things just happen. We've got to forgive it. We've got to let it go, however it might be. It might take a bit of work to do it, to get back on the path or whatever. So 5 Ahmad comes around and says, yeah, it's time to put your energy into forgiveness. From 5 Ajmak, we then move into 6 Noach. So Noach, the Nawal of the mind, of the brain, information and of problem solving. And here we see it with the number 6. The number 6, representing ultimate stability, representing the family, so problem solving within your family, using your information in order to go forward and help sort those things out. We can also see, kind of like for me, I like to see the 6 as drawing on the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth and bringing them into the physical realm. And of course, this is something we're going to need if we are traveling to an unknown place, a place we've not been before. Of course, we're going to have to use all the information that we've got and all the information that we can absorb in order to help us to solve the problems along the way, whether it is not knowing quite how things work because it's a different place, or all of the things which can come up during our travels. Or 6 Noach suggests that we're more than capable of solving those problems because not only do we have the physical knowledge, but we're also drawing on higher realms to bring that physical knowledge into existence. We're drawing on the higher realms in order to stabilize whatever problems we might come across as we make our journey. So 6 Noach, it's a great day to be putting your ideas into practice and receiving a little bit more, let's say, otherworldly help than we might expect. From 6 Noach, we then move into 70 hash. Now, we've been through the Kawok Trecena. We're starting our journey, but there's something about it. Like I often see this as kind of like it's like the cutting of the umbilical cord because the 70 hash is like the final cut. And after 70 hash is going to come 8 Kawok, which is the wholeness of the birth process. So it's kind of like this thing of like, we're setting out on the road, but whenever we set out on the road, we're going to have to cut some ties because otherwise we're, kind of like got an idea about like a bungee cord that's going to pull us back to the beginning again. We got to say, right, okay, we make that cut, we take off, we're off the ground, or we step onto the ship, or we, like step out on the bungee jump, or however it might be. There comes that almost final moment where we're dissociating and letting go. And it's also, the 7 representing choices. And it's like, right, okay, let's choose which bits we need to cut in order to go onto that journey. The Tijax is also about discernment, and it's making our choices with discernment as to which road we want to follow. It's kind of like, again, if you're going out on a new journey, well, when you've taken a path, kind of like the path that you walk every day between your house and the shop or whatever it might be, you can do it kind of like with your eyes closed. When you're in a new area, you need to look for the signs. Maybe if you're going into the jungle or whatever, you need to look very carefully where the trail is going. Or if you're on a journey somewhere, you really need to keep your wits about you to make sure you're going in the right direction and should follow the right signposts. And 70 hash is really about, making your choices based on your discernment. Where is the path going to take you? Where is this new path leading? 70 hash, the finality of cutting what you choose to let you walk this new path, but also making your choices with the utmost discernment to ensure that you're going in the correct direction. Now, another aspect of Tijax is that of healing. And with 70 hash, we can see that 7 can represent finality, it can represent endings. And so 70 hash could represent the end of a healing process. So it's a great day, kind of like as I may have said before, if you have the opportunity to schedule some surgery or something, dentist trip or whatever, 70 hash might be a good one to kind of like finalize whatever might be causing you pain or a problem using it in that way. From 70 hash, we then move into 8 Kawok. So the 8 being like the 1 and the 7, the two bookends, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. And Kawok representing the birthing process. Kawok can also represent the work of the female healers. It can very much represent the work of the midwives. And the 8th day of the Trecena can often be the ceremonial day where we celebrate those people that are involved with that. So 8 Kawok could very much be seen as a day of celebration for the work of the midwife. So recently had children or something on that kind of like a great day to make an offering to the midwives or the midwife collectives. We can also see it as our whole birthing cycle. It could be a good day to give thanks for the rains which have come, a good day to ask for the heavy rains to be gentle with us, a good day to say, right, okay, I think, kind of like our work is done here for a little while. And so a great day to bless the rains, thank it for looking after us, for bringing the crops to thank. So 8 Kawok, a very powerful day of ceremony. Give thanks for the rebirthing process. From 8 Kawok, we then move into 9 Ajpu. So Ajpu, the Nawal of the divine, the Nawal of, kind of like reuniting with the solar lords, as it were, kind of like with the upper realm, with the ancestors. We can see it with the number nine representing the divine feminine, the number nine also representing life. So if we see Ajpu as representing, let's say, our spiritual path to find higher purpose, path to find, kind of like the hero within, as it were. And here, combined with the number nine, this is kind of like the spiritual path within our life. This is the divine path. We can also see it, kind of like, okay, yes, we could probably use the word goddess around it because it is very feminine and it is very divine, and so you put them two together, and that's what you get. But we could see kind of like, for me, the nine representing life and the Aq'ab'al representing, kind of like the hero on the spiritual path. This is about the integration of our spiritual path into our life. What could be more fitting within this Trecena of E and say, hey, hang on, this path that I'm walking, this road, this journey that I'm about to take, this is not just for, kind of like some jolly that I'm out on. This is something which is having a deep impact on my life, on my spirit. And 9 Ajpu is a great day to keep your eyes open, keep your senses and keep your wits around you, to understand how this new path is part of the spiritual path of your life. From 9 Ajpu, we then move into 10 Imox. So we have Imox representing the water, representing the lake, representing our connection with the collective consciousness, and the 10 representing agreements and community. Now, it could be a bit of an overwhelming day in one way or another, because Imox is already connected psychically to everybody around it. It's very, very empathic. And here, when it's connected with the number 10 representing community, this is kind of like feeling what our community feels. And maybe our community is scared. Maybe our community is, upset at the moment. Maybe there's all sorts of things going on in our community. And maybe we're kind of feeling like, hang on, is this my feeling? Is this somebody else's feeling? Is this, kind of like my personal feeling? Or is this the way that my friends, my family, my community feel? Is that part of it? But I also kind of like, if we were to look at it from a different aspect, we can see that Imox can represent dreaming. Imox can represent creativity. And here with the community, it's kind of being able to feel each other empathically and understand what creativity we can bring to the community, how we can create together, how we can dream together, even, which can be an entirely beautiful thing. We could also see with the 10, it's like giving each other a hand up. And sometimes we need that, whether it's our dreams or the dreams of others within our community. Sometimes we just need somebody to stretch out a hand and say, hey, like, I can help you with that. And 10 in March could be a great day to help each other to bring our dreams into reality. One of the most important exercises we may need to attend to on 10 in March is to understand what part of us belongs to the community, and kind of like where we stop and where others starts, because Imox can get us so involved with what's going on around us. Hang on, is that my thought? Is that my dream? And we may need to, kind of like, in order to dream efficiently, effectively for our community, productively and creatively, may be a good day to also understand where those boundaries between our own dreams and the dreams of our community lie. Because again, in this Trecena of E, or if we're walking that path, we might be walking that path as an individual. And we maybe have to kind of like understand, well, that was part of my community. This is me. This is where the boundary is. Imox days are always good days to spend by water. Now, whether you want to take your community to the beach or to the lake or whatever it might be, that might be one thing. Also, it would be a good day to be spending time by water to understand exactly what bit of the consciousness, what bit of your empathy, what bit of your field belongs to you, and what bit is community. It's a great day to understand your individuality, within the community. From 10 Imox, we then move to 11 Ich. So Ich, the Nawal of the wind, the Nawal of communication. The wind changes constantly. The wind might change direction without knowing, without us kind of like really knowing which way it's going to go. And here, combined with the 11, highly creative number, highly unpredictable. So 11 Ich can be a turbulent day, it can be a chaotic day, it can be a highly creative day, and it might be a day to go where the wind takes you because you can't fight the wind. It's kind of like the wind is stronger than all of us, and it brings us to where it needs to go. Now, on the 11th day, kind of like this is waking up with an idea in the head, and it's like, hey, we're going on a journey. Where was our journey going to take us? Well, it was going to take us over there, but I woke up with an idea, and the wind is telling me to go that way. Okay, go that way. Okay, we don't know why. Somebody said, well, why are you going to go that way? Well, I don't know yet. I'll tell you when I get there. Maybe. Maybe I'll find out what I need to find out when I get there. Maybe I won't. We're not sure yet. So in those times, it's kind of like the ability. I always think about Ik. And when I think about Ik and Ik days, it's like if we resist, we try and be the oak, we try and be really strong. What happens to the oak? It's just going to snap and fall over into a strong wind. We don't want to be the reed that's just flopping over in whatever direction we're like blowing. We need to be like the willow to allow ourselves to stay grounded, to stay centered, to stay rooted, but also allow ourselves to adapt to what condition the wind is throwing to us. So be aware, stay open, stay grounded. That's very important on that 11. Allow yourself to adapt and change to whichever direction the wind is trying to take you in. And, again, if we see Ik as representing communication, realize that communication may be, it's coming from over there and over there and over there and over there. And there's all these different voices that are speaking and giving you this information. You follow, well, maybe use your intuition with it. Maybe you aren't going to find out right away which one was the guidance that you needed. Maybe there's something that's going to come later on when you get the bigger picture. But 11 Ik, is also it's a strong day of communication. So we need to be aware of the way that we are using our voices so that the words that we are using are coming out right. After 11 Ik, we then move to 12 Aq'ab'al. So Aq'ab'al, the dawn and the dusk. Aq'ab'al, the twilight, the revelation. And the number 12 representing the bringing together of all of life's experiences. So with 12 Aq'ab'al, if Aq'ab'al represents the new concept that comes with the light of the dawn, then that new concept is coming as a result of our life experiences. And so it's putting everything together, just as we might expect we might need to do on this new path, on this new road. Sometimes there is nothing to light the way. We might need to look for the dawn. We might need to look for the sunrise in the east to understand the direction that we're going to take. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to rely on our past experience. So it's like calling in our past experiences in order to come up with a new concept. That new concept is going to take us forward. That new concept is going to bring things to light as it should. 12 Aq'ab'al might even be reworking of old ideas in order to bring in a new concept. That can be highly valid on that 12 Aq'ab'al day. It's kind of like I often think about, having some inventions that you half made that laying on your workbench or something like that, and going back to them going, oh, hang on, if I put that one and that one and that one together, then we can bring in a totally new concept. So, kind of like as we tread this path, maybe that we need to draw on that past experience to produce the new concept that takes us forwards. And then finally, we're going to end the Trecena on the day 13 cat. Now, whenever we start a journey, we got to make sure that we are carrying what we need in in our bags. And sometimes we might be carrying more than we need in our bags as well. We might have a bit of excess baggage. How does that affect us when it slows us down? But sometimes we also realize, hey, packed for sun and it's going to rain or whatever, and we're going to change that up. You remember when I was talking about like the one day, it's the beginning of the path. It's still receiving the encouragement, receiving what we might need in order to walk that new path. And 13 cat may bring exactly that because we have cat, which is about our net that we're carrying. I often see cat days as days where we are working out what we need to hold on to and what we need to let go of, what we need to be attached to and what we need to detach from. This all comes with cat because it's the net that we carry, whether it might be our rucksack or whether it might be whatever bag it might be that we're carrying, making sure that we're carrying appropriate materials for our journey. Now, where do those appropriate materials come from? Well, often they're the fruits of our labor. But here we see that cat attached to the number 13, and that number 13 representing the ancestors, representing spirit. And so when we look at it like that, it may well be the gifts of spirit that fill our net, the gifts of the ancestors that fill our net, that guide our journey. Now, if our net is full, those gifts can't come in, right? Kind of like we've got to make sure that we are not taking something which is, let's say, inappropriate in our bag for the journey that we're undertaking for this new journey. So it might be a great day to be asking, the advice, the guidance of the ancestors, the advice or the guidance of spirit to say, okay, what do I need in my bag for this journey? Maybe we're still in our planning phase. We haven't quite stepped out onto the road yet. We've got a bit of time to work it out to make sure that we're carrying the right things which are either given to us by the ancestors, given to us by spirit, filling our net so that we can have a bountiful, successful, and evolutionary journey. So I hope that this Trecena has been good, and I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena